everybody, and welcome back once again to Let's Play Motorsport Manager with the Phoenix Knights racing team here in the European Racing Series. Right, quick disclaimer, I went out yesterday being Saturday, I went out for my birthday. Birthday was on Wednesday, midweek, no good for celebrating. So I had all the celebrations yesterday, lots to drink, and lots of shouting and carrying on, so my voice is a bit hoarse today, so I do apologise. So there we go, but hopefully it will hold up for the rest of this session. So here we are, almost race day at the Italian Grand Prix in Milan. So before we delve in, I will just go through a couple of things that's happened off camera. Starting with, I suppose, the car itself. We have been continually, our race mechanics and engineers have been diligently working on the reliability of the various parts. So now, in Milan, the engine, the brakes and the rear wing are the crucial parts. We've been focusing on raising the reliability of these things. And as such, our brakes are now above 70%. Our engine is above 80%. And our rear wing was already above 80 anyway. So all in all, I don't think any of our parts, apart from perhaps this suspension here, are below 70%. So they're slowly but surely getting there. Anything above 80 is good enough to last the entire race if you don't push too hard for too long. So I'm very happy with the development of the car's reliability. As we move across to the headquarters then, we have... In fact, we'll go here first. We have just got two new sponsors. We have the Max Velocity sponsor, a 5-star sponsor located in the United States. They gave us a £1 million upfront payment, but a fixed payment of a whopping £800,000 per race. That is absolutely unbelievable. We also managed to procure the Special Effect Gamers charity that has given us a bonus of 7th or above, and if we hit that, we get 600,000. Pretty nice. Upfront payment of 1 million. So taking into account all of that, we are now making money per race. This is the first time we've ever made money per race, and with the bonus on top, if we achieve that, we could make 800,000 a race, which is almost unheard of for this team's history. So we're starting to splash the cash, and we have started to splash the cash on our infrastructure. We have just commenced the building of our brakes R&D facility. This has cost us 8 million, but it's well worth it, and we can now afford it due to the great sponsors that we have. So we've started that a couple of weeks ago. So we're now looking to bridge that gap for our poorer parts. So that is something that we have done as well. And the final thing that we need to catch up on before we delve into the race is, of course, meet the team. Last session we looked at the Ruiz Motorsport team. The Ruiz Motorsport team, the team we expected to be our main rivals. So another quick look at them. Here they are. They have really done badly in the past couple of races. Qualified well, they've had a front row lockout both races, but they have performed so badly in the race, mainly due to strategy. And their chairman is losing confidence in their team principle. I could only surmise that they are purposely screwing up in the race to get this man sacked. It makes no sense other than that. But anyway, today we are focusing on the next rival that we potentially have in this racing series, and that is going to be Vexala Motorsport with the purple car. Yes, they have been performing pretty well in the race and in qualifying, outperforming Ruiz Motorsport so far. Now they started out with us in the European Racing Series, so they have had to build their team up to a certain degree. Their car is actually only 4th best on the grid, but they seem to be getting more out of it than some of their rivals. They have the best drivers at the moment because of Valdes' injury, we have now gone down to 3rd on the drivers. When Valdes recovers from his injury, we'll go back to the top. But they have 2 good drivers, better than Ruiz Motorsport drivers, which is probably why they're outperforming their respective position. Headquarters below average, as is their staff and their sponsors as well. So yeah, it's their drivers really that are helping them, and not too shabby a car, that are helping them push up the table. Their chassis, not too bad, not marvellous really, but we'll take a quick look at the drivers. We have Heemshoff, who is a German young driver. Look at these stats here. These are all relatively good. Overtaking and consistency, a little bit below average. Adaptability, somewhere in that range. Fitness is low, but great feedback. And focus could be good. Could be average. But look at that. Look at his form. He's in absolutely great form and really, really trying to push his way up that table. So that is Heemshoff. Their second driver, or their other driver, is Masilela, South African. Another youngster. He doesn't look as good, but he's still not too shabby. Great feedback again, 2 good feedbacks. Consistency's there. Okay, pretty average in the rest of the stats though, so he doesn't seem to be as strong, but he's not performing as well either. In fact, 18th and 19th, he's not doing very well at all. So it's the one-man band at the moment in terms of their team. But yeah, that is the Vexala Motorsport team. Harry Wheaton, very secure, he's doing a good job. So all in all, marketability is pretty low. So yeah, I think they're outperforming at the moment, where they're expected to finish. But we'll see how that develops as the season progresses. So that is the Vexala Motorsport team. Next up, we shall take a look at Zampelli. Right then, so we're going to progress forward now. The reason why we're not quite on race day is because we have a vote. And I haven't shown you guys how the voting system works, just in case you're new. So I thought I wouldn't skip past this, and thankfully it's just right before the start of the race. So as we continue on, we have a vote for a rule change. So the new vote has started. We get 4 of these per season, and this one is to add a new race to the calendar. Now, it makes no difference to me whether we have a new race or not. We may not even be in this series next season. So I'm going to abstain. I don't really care. And we will get an extra voting power as a result of abstaining. And if there's a rule change that we particularly want to force through or particularly want to oppose as we progress through the season, we can use our additional voting power for that purpose. But it looks like perhaps we might be getting... Uh-oh, it's a tie, which means that the chairman has the final say. Old Bernie Eccleston's namesake. And he votes to add another race to the calendar. No surprise there. More race means more income. So we have an additional race, which takes the European Racing Series up to 12 races now. Starting off at 10, we have the additional race added last season of Dubai, and now we have another one at Phoenix. Goodness gracious. Right, so that's how the voting system works. We abstained on this particular occasion, which means we get an extra vote to our voting power. Coming up, we have a vote in 8 weeks' time to go to a standard average race length. We have an option for grooved tyres, not as fast as full slicks, but cheaper, and developing front wings. So those votes will be coming in the future. Right then, moving forward once again. So here we are at the start of the race weekend. Can Sundin continue her great form? She's top of the championship, won the last race, and Valdes is out, injured, with a dislocated shoulder. He's been told by the doctors that he shouldn't race, but he, being himself, has said, I cannot miss this race, there's no chance. Even though he can't corner, even though he can't drive, even though he's got no fitness, the reserve driver will not be racing. He is going to pull himself into that car and do his very best. He almost forced the doctor to sign him off as fit and healthy to race. I'd say at gunpoint, but yeah, near enough, proverbially at gunpoint. The doctor signed him off and he's racing, but he's going to be in a right state, and if he gets anything out of this, it'll be nothing but damage limitations. So that is going to be interesting to see how that pans out for the race itself. So Milan then, it's going to be an interesting weather setup. It looks like it could be dry. Medium fuel burn, low tyre wear, which means the softest tyre available to us is probably going to be the tyre to be on for most of the race, and qualifying also. So, like last time, I shall skip past the practice and we'll dive straight into the qualifying. But before we do, I'm going to pick my bonus. Now, what do we want to do here? Can we get third place or above? This is a race track where the engines and the brakes are important. Our engine is one of the best, which is good. Brakes are not so good. Rear wing is stock. We could just go safe, or then we could push the boat out. Sundin is performing so well. Can we get third with her? I think we could. We could squeak it here. I think we could squeak it. So I'm going to risk it. Parts are fine. Off with Tootle. Join me for qualifying. Okay, folks, we are back from practice, and although the times in practice don't mean anything, it's always nice just to see ourselves performing admirably when compared with the others. And we got into third position with Iris, who wasn't really pushing too hard. We didn't push her. She was doing a long 3-lap stints when she set this time. Valdes languishing down there, to be expected of course when driving with a near dislocated shoulder. But all in all, a promising session, because the setups were, well, they were good. Setups were good. Managed to get the car set up nicely. Valdes getting a slightly better sweet setup than Sundin, and he's going to blooming well need it. Our goal is to qualify and finish the race in third or above to make use of this £600,000 bonus. We will certainly try in earnest to achieve that. We have maxed out our soft tyre performance, which is a tyre of choice, as mentioned before. And as you can see from the setups here, Sundin 95%, 2 greats and an excellent. We're going to be using the soft tyres for qualifying. And Valdes getting great and 2 excellence for a 96% setup. Not too bad, Mr. Valdes. Right then, let's see what we can do in qualifying. Okay, we're going to pause it a second. It looks a bit grey and murky to me. Let's just keep our fingers crossed it doesn't rain. I mean, temperatures are very high at 24 degrees, which means the track grip should be going up pretty quickly. I'm going to try a different strategy. Can't speak. I'm going to try a different strategy today in qualifying. I'm going to go and see if we can get a nice early banker lap with our drivers, and then perhaps squeezing a second lap towards the end of the session when the track has got its maximum grip. And if it rains, at least we have our banker lap in the bag. So Sundin going out straight away to set her time, and Valdes going pretty much soon afterwards as well. Of course, we can't guarantee where we're going to feed out into the traffic as and when we're on our hot lap. We're just going to keep our fingers crossed that we don't feed out into the mire. So both drivers just getting ready for their flying laps. So all the cars are going out now. Hopefully they'll all be out just before we get round. We don't want anybody doing their out lap when we're on our flying lap. That would be very detrimental to our progress here. This is the drawback of coming out, I suppose, too early. Okay, people are still filtering out the pits. This is not good news. This is not good news here. People are still filtering out. Right, Sundin is flying, and she has already somebody right in front of her. Valdes, he's on his flying lap, and he is fed out again right into the mire. So this strategy probably not the best. But we are just laying down a marker here. We are just laying down a marker. Sundin keeps encountering traffic. Not great. There's Valdes. I think Valdes has passed had to pass one. Oh, look at that. This is not going to help matters, is it? At all. Good grief. So Sundin sets down a time of a 1:14.4. Traffic was definitely prevalent there, and Valdes a whopping 2 seconds off the pace. Antonov, of course, the car to beat. Ruiz Motorsport. There's Mikhailovic also. Sabardo is also ahead of us. Gerard has moved ahead, which means that our time definitely could be improved upon. But we've laid that marker down. We've got a lap. It's not the greatest of laps, but it's I tried something new. The track is getting more and more grippy now, so now would be the time to go out there and lay down another time. Right, you have to feed these guys out into some clean air here. Let's just take a quick look at the tyres. They're fine. So we have to determine when is the best time to get out there and do another lap. Hopefully in clear air. Now we could wait till the very end of the session. It's going to be sunny for the entirety of the rest of the session. So we could wait for the rest of the session. Wait for people to be coming into their in-laps. At least if they're doing an in-lap, they're going so slow that you can just fly past them. A lot of people on their in-laps now. So if we feed... who's Thomas? See, Thomas is on an in-lap. So a lot of the people now are on their in-laps. And that would be a good time to do an out-lap again. So I'm going to send Sundin out straight away again. Track grip is up there. Tyres are nice and worn in. She's going to go out. A lot of people doing their in-laps here. There's nobody doing a flying lap. So we should not encounter traffic now with Sundin at all. But as you can see, look, a lot of people are going out again. A lot of people going out again. Look, they're all going out now on another outlap. So what we'll do is we'll just wait. Now go with Valdes. Right, so Sundin has... Okay, she's speeding past now. So she's got another car ahead of her. Ideally, we'd want her to speed past that bugger and get clear track. 9th position, Mello. Don't let him past. I mean, that's a Ruiz Motorsport car, so to be fair, if we keep up with that on a hot lap, we should be doing well. So we don't mind having them in front of us, but right, here we go. Overheated on the brakes. The tyre temperatures are good. Off Sundin goes on another flying lap, and how many cars have just fed out into her path here? Good God. Perfect tyre temps for Valdes. Overheated the brakes, but he has got perfectly clear track. Absolutely, and that's just screwed her lap up. She's already 9/10 down. Them cars are just fed right into her path. Have completely and utterly blundered her lap. So Valdes, look at that, absolute crystal clear track. He's still a second down. Still a second down. Ideally, we would want Sundin to be in the clear track, and so she can push. She's not going to improve her time at all. Sundin is not improved, and there's no chance to do another lap. That's it. She's qualified by the looks of it in 6th position. Valdes now 2 seconds down. "14th position for Valdes. Wow. Okay, so we're learning all the time. Valdes got perfect track position there, and if we could get Sundin out into perfect track position like that, that will be preferable. So I think going forward here, we're going to do only one flying lap rather than 2, unless it is really likely to rain, and we'll try and do our flying lap round about the same time that Valdes did his, and that should put us into clear air with fresh tyres on a grippy track, I think that could be it. I wonder if Valdes' tyres would let him down in that second flying lap. He had clear air, you know, he had perfectly clear air, and he was slower than his first lap, so perhaps even just his tyres, it must have been his tyres that let him down. It's the only thing I can think of. So Valdes, 15th, he's got a lot of work to do from there. Sundin will be disappointed to have qualified in 6th, because traffic got in the way. Without that traffic, she could have certainly qualified in 3rd, I think. She could have found half a second there. She definitely lost half a second, at least in traffic, I would have thought. So, but it's not a problem. Points are won in the race. Let's just hope. Oh, and look at this. We have a situation on our hands. We have rain. But that's a good thing, because if we can get the strategy right, what we saw in the last race, that if we get the strategy right, rain could be a friend as well as a foe. So we need to. Well, this is going to be. This is a very similar situation to the last race in Munich, where it starts off as intermediate weather, intermediate track condition, and then because we don't have the forecasting centre, we are completely blind after lap 3. Is it going to continue to rain? Is it going to drop off again? Is it ever going to reach full wet weather condition? Let's have a look. First of all, again, because we can't guarantee it's ever going to go to soft, we're going to have to race trim it and tyre change guru. I imagine it will dry up at some point, but we can't guarantee that it will, so there's no point of using the soft tyre performance. What are they recommending? They're recommending wet weather tyre. They're recommending wet weather tyre here, and which generally tends to mean that it will get very wet. But like in the last race, with Valdes pushing with an intermediate tyre, getting himself scything through the field, it was his downfall because he went spinning off the track. But it worked well, and it could help him gain a few positions, and this is a race where we could almost one stop here. So coming in after, say, lap 3 to put full set of wet tyres on wouldn't be as detrimental as it was in the last race if we got the call wrong. So I'm going to do the same thing again with Valdes. We'll set his car up first. We're going to go on to the inters. We're going to short fuel him for 3 laps. Well, for 4, having come in after 3. Maybe even coming after 2. And then 2 longer stints. It's a risk, but he's way down in the field. He's not feeling too well with his shoulder, so we're going to have to go out there and do something a little bit out of the ordinary. With Sundin, as like last time, she is going to go with a more conservative strategy, go on the full wets, even though the start of the race should be a little bit slow. Everybody else will be in the same boat, I imagine, and go with as much fuel as possible to give her the best chance to switch strategies if required. Push and full engine mode to start with. This is going to be an interesting race. Whenever rain is thrown up, it always produces a bit of drama. Right, Antonov and Mikhailovic once again get the front row lockout for Ruiz Motorsport racing team. 3rd race in a row. Can they convert this into some points, or some decent points this time? Sabado in the Firebird performing really well in qualifying, getting 3rd. Zampelli, El Sadat in 4th. We've got Gerard in the Firebird in 5th position, and Sundin in 6th. Bit of a disappointment there, but I'm sure she'll bounce back. Zampelli in 7th, with Vexala in 8th, Silva in 9th, and Octane in 10th. Rare is the other Missalella in 11th, not very good. Looks like Firebird doing really well today. Interesting. Okay, so here we are. The lights are on, and we are off and racing, and Sundin off very slowly there. But she's still, well, she's lost her position actually. And look at that, flying up the inside. Sundin, very slow start. Great start by Masilella. He's up into 6th position, and Sundin is going backwards. This is not the start we were hoping for, and Valdes on the intermediate tyres is going to be looking to take advantage of the first couple of laps where everybody on their wet tyres are going to be struggling. And look at it, look how he's flying here. This is what he did last time. Just don't fly off the track, Valdes, this time, okay? So he's scything through the field. He is up into 6th position already. We're not even halfway around the lap yet, as he continues to move forwards, leaving those drivers behind him in his wake. He is... Oh, look at this, he's on one. He's off and he's flying. End of lap 1. He's from 18th. Where was he? 18th. I don't know where he was. He was far back on the grid anyway. And he's now into 3rd position. Look at the 2 leaders. Look how far they have pulled out. Mikhailovic and Antonov this time seem to be making it work in the race for Ruiz Motorsport. Showing their full potential this time, perhaps? Maybe because this is a race that is engine specific. Not too much cornering and chassis work to do. Therefore... Oh, and also they are on intermediates. I did not notice this. They have taken the same strategy as Valdes. Now the track is beginning to get soaked, and this is where the Inters are going to struggle. But look, it looks like it might start to dry up a bit. Do we go out? What do we do here with Valdes? He's in a mire. He is in a mire here because I do not think Sundin down in 11th. I don't think... Look, Valdes is struggling here. He's now on the wrong tyre. And I don't know if it's going to stay wet for long enough for him to make it work on wet tyres. I think he's going to have to switch to intermediates. I think he's going to have to switch to intermediates again. Okay. Meanwhile, Sundin in 11th. The wet tyres are working now. Round about lap 4, I think, is probably where we're going to want to come in for intermediates. 11th position. So we're beginning to claw back the 2 Zempelli racing drivers, the 2 Ruiz Motorsport drivers. Who are they coming into pit yet? Yes, they're now going to be coming in. Probably, are they going to switch to wets or inters? If they switch to wets, it would be suicidal. Oh, I've just completely missed the pit stop, haven't I, with Valdes? Oh, flipping hell. I have completely ballsed up here. I have missed the damn pit stop. He's going to be out of fuel. Oh, Lord, give me strength above. I'm not the first person to have done this, I can quite assure you. He's missed the pit. He's completely missed the damn pit. He's got no fuel left. Damn and blast. Valdes' race is being completely compromised. Oh dear. I don't think he's going to be a happy bunny somehow. Right, Sundin now on the wet tyres. The Ruiz Motorsport drivers have gone onto the wet tyre, which is a blunder on their part. Is a complete and utter blunder because the track is drying. They want to be on the intermediate tyres and they've gone onto full wets. In fact, Antonov has gone onto dries. Softs. What's that all about? Right, Sundin has enough fuel to do one more lap here. She's moved up into 4th position. The front 3 is slightly pulling away. Are they staying out? We are going to stay out for one more lap on these wets and come in for inters the next lap. And make sure that we do it. Inters for perhaps 4 laps or 3 or 4 laps, and then to dries for Sundin. We'll go for 5 laps of fuel. In fact, we'll go for 4. 6, 7, 8. We'll go for 5. We could always push if we need to burn some fuel off. So playing it safe again with Sundin. Paul Valdes is now out of fuel. He's in 19th place, chugging around. His race has been completely ruined. It's just not going well for Valdes this season. It's just not going well for poor old Valdes. Right, here comes Sundin. She's coming round. She is 9 seconds off the lead. But her pace is looking good, and the track now will begin to dry. It's still just about wet weather condition, but it's soon going to be into condition. I can imagine a lot of these cars are going to come in straight onto dries, but we are going to come onto the intermediates, do a very short stint on inters, and then come out for the dries when the track is dry. Right, Sundin, 6 laps of fuel, it's far too much. They're going to be coming in for dries. We're on intermediates, I reckon. Yeah, they're all coming in for dries now, but this is not dry weather track, so this is where Sundin has to do it. This is where she has to push. She has to push. And this is where Valdes might be able to make some time back. He is on intermediates, which is the tyre to be on. So he's going to now push as hard as he can. We're going to be following Sundin here as she's now catching up to Sabado, who is on the dry tyres, which is not the tyre to be on right now. So Sundin's going to have no problems getting past him. Oh, he's trying to run us off the damn road! Get out the way! Moron! She's going to be gaining on Sario, who's on the wrong tyre. He's on the wet tyre. He's probably going to be pitting now, as is the Mikhailovic, who went onto the wrong tyre, the Ruiz Motorsport driver. Once again, their team screwing up their strategy. Seems they have really poor strategists in the Ruiz Motorsport team. So Sundin now, this is where she's going to have to make it count. I think one more lap perhaps on these tyres, and then come in for the dries next lap. So yes, this is working out very well. What we don't want to happen is we don't want to what happened in the last race, where we actually went on the dry tyres too late. Do we come now? Everybody else is on dry tyre. There's no reason for us to go risky. I think now we go dry. The trouble is, do we have enough fuel to make it to the end of the race? Yes, we do. Everybody else has to pit once more. We don't. The engine is at 40%. We can't push too much, but we don't have the fuel to push. So Sundin is coming in for a final stop. She doesn't have to stop again. Everybody else does, because they don't have enough fuel to make it to the end. So this is it. This is going to be a race-defining moment. We're going to come out roughly around about 7th, 8th position, or maybe even not. Maybe we're going to still come out in Valdes has to come in. Valdes has to come in for his stop now as well. So we'll do the same with Valdes. Bring him in, fill him up to good to go to the end, and just pray that we can just get as high as we can with him. He's not going to get any points though, unless a minor miracle happens. But this is all about Sundin again, rather unsurprisingly, as she gets out into 4th position. But the good thing is, as I said, everybody ahead of her has to stop again. They don't have the fuel to last. We need to go off high and stay neutral and medium. We don't want to be wearing that engine down too much. It is still damp, but everybody's on the same tyre now. There's no reason for us to stay out any longer than necessary on those tyres. Valdes is coming for his dries. Fuel to the end. He's just going to have to do his best. Where would Valdes have finished if we did not screw his strategy up? He'd have finished high up, I would have thought, because he was on the same strategy as Sundin, and this has worked out very well for her. So this is definitely an opportunity missed for Valdes, and one which the team will have to apologise for. They were, or maybe he didn't hear. Maybe he didn't hear the pit call. That's what we'll blame Valdes again. It's his fault. He didn't hear the pit call. We called him into the pits. He didn't listen. Maybe he didn't want to listen, and he's screwed up. Good grief, poor Valdes. Fan favourite maybe, but it's just not happening for him this season. Last race, spun off. This race, poor pit call. He's into 16th though. He's moving forward. This could still be a little bit of hope here. In fact, we're going to go for the old push strategy. as Sundin now is going to move up into second place as those ahead of her pit. And she's going to move into first place. Here she goes, cruising round. And who is behind her? It's Sabado again. Sabado was in the last race before he retired. He was the one that was pushing her towards the end of the race. And it's in the same order again. 4 laps to go and Sundin is leading this race, leading this Grand Prix, as Sabado is now pushing hard. Let's have a look what he's doing. He is pushing the tyres, he is pushing the engine. We are just conserving at the moment in normal mode because look at that, 31% is the engine. 31%. It is going to be touch and go here as Sundin cruises round. Just has to control the pace. Just has to control matters. Valdes is up into 9th place here. By some minor miracle, he is past a few more cars. But everybody ahead of him now has made their stops. Nobody has to stop again, I don't think. There are some people in the pits at the moment as we speak, as Valdes has got to cool it off a bit. I think he's not going to have enough fuel to make it to the end. 11, 12 and 13. He needs 3 laps of fuel. It's going to be touch and go. He has to go into normal mode here. He's into 6th. He's picking up a point as we speak. Is he going to have enough fuel to make it to the end? Sundin has plenty of fuel. Sabado is not catching anywhere near quick enough. He just has to hang on here. He just has to hang on to that last points scoring position. I don't know how he's managed to pull this out of the bag, but he is hanging on there now. Has a point for the team. Could be vital at the end of the day, you never know. Not vital for his own championship. Look at that, it's going to be touch and go with the fuel. He's not got enough at the moment. Might have to go conserve for the last lap. This is so close. And Sundin has once again ignore the flashing lights. Go into low mode. 16% engine, 22% brakes. Is Sundin going to make it round? Sabado is 9.2 seconds as she is on her final lap. For God's sake, please do not have the engine blow up on us. Please. She's hobbling round. She is hobbling around. Sabado is miles away though. Her tyre temperatures are extremely low. We can't afford to push. She's just making it the last few corners. And Sundin is just seconds away from back-to-back race victories. Here we go. And she crosses the line. Victory for Sundin again. And Valdes, is he going to do it? The cars are catching. I don't know if he's going to have enough fuel even. 5th place has a problem. He's catching 5th place. His fuel is touch and go. There's a car catching him for 6. He's going to have enough. He's just going to have enough. I think. Yes, he clings on to 6th position. Oh boy, what melodrama. That was tight. A tactical blunder, missing his pit stop for the first stop. It's put him right to the back of the grid, but somehow he's managed to claw his way back up to 6th position, which makes you wonder, could we have had a 1-2 if that did not happen? Possibly. Possibly. That race just seemed to fly by. I just completely, utterly flew by in a blur. I just barely know what happened. So Sundin took the long stint on the wets, played it defensively, a very short stint on the inters to make use of that opportunity, that window of opportunity when the track was drying to be on the best tyre at the right time, and then had a long stint on the soft tyres. Had to turn all the dials down to preserve the condition of the car as the warning lights were blaring at her on the last lap. But just like in the last race, she maintained her cool in interchangeable conditions and silkily drove her way to victory. Sundin, the superstar, strikes again for the Phoenix Knights racing team. And Valdes, intermediate stint, missed, of course, his pit. Should have come in a lap sooner. Intermediates again on the drying track. This is where he probably made up most of his time. Where everybody else was on the wrong tyre, either wets or dries, he was on the right tyre for that stint there, and then pulled it out of the hat for the last stint and clawed his way to get a solitary point for the team. Great stuff. Let's just hope the cars ahead of him may have broken a rule. No. So there you go, that is the final standings. So Sabado up into second place again. He would have got second place in the last race if it wasn't for his retirement. So the Firebird racing team here, Firebird MRT, seem to have their strategies right during the race. Hong Liao for the Dragon Race Team China getting a podium. I think he finished well in the last race, so they're getting their strategy right. One team that are not getting their strategy right for the third race running are the Ruiz Motorsport team, qualifying on pole and second for the third race in a row, and for the third race in a row their strategists have absolutely cocked up. 19th place and 12th. They should have walked this. They were well out in front, but no chance. Dreyfus Octane Racing 4th, Santa Ana in Predator Racing has got 5th position. Well, they're moving up in the world, and Valdes, of course, getting the 6th place and last spot. Fastest lap goes to Antonov. Consolation prize at the very least. So, champagne being drunk for the second race running in terms of our victory. Brian Potter loving life right now, but not quite as much as Sundin is. So here is the Drivers' Championship. Sundin, 2 wins and a second place. 26 points. She is more than a race victory ahead of her nearest rival. That is Valdes. Valdes has still somehow clung on to second place, but he's 15 points behind, has a lot of work to do. It's going to be a tough season from here for Valdes. Liao, third place with 10 points. Sabado with 8, and everybody else just minor placings here. This is an absolute barnstorming performance so far from Sundin. Couple more of these and she's going to be hard to catch. Phoenix Knights 27 points ahead of Dragon Race Team China, who are pulling out all the stops here and performing way above expectation. Firebird doing well. Ruiz, if their team principal isn't sacked within the next couple of races, I'll be completely and utterly gobsmacked, because he is cocking up royally in the races. Ha! Look at this. Ruiz Motorsport. I hope you guys lose. In fact, I've got money on it. Says a Phoenix Racing Knights fan, of course. Hard-fought win for Sundin. Was it hard-fought? Once again, just like in the last race, she just made it look so easy. So calm and serene is our Sundin, that she's just doing what she needs to do. She loves interchangeable conditions. Wet track, damp track, drying track. She seems to excel on it. She got off to a bad start, but she didn't get flustered and flapped. You know, she just maintained that focus, and the race came to her. And when she was out in front, there was no catching her. She's unlocked pit stop legend in terms of the race mechanic bonus. And Sergio Valdes is out for another 2 weeks with his dislocated shoulder. So another race probably before he's back to full fitness. And we make £900,000 at the back end of that race. That was very nice to see. Okay, so we'll leave the session here. Sundin is first, Valdes is second, but for how long? He's going to have to raise his game, as are his race crew, because they cocked up royally there, and that's what's cost him this race. To finish off, I did ask for some nicknames, a nickname for Sundin, and the one that I have picked, courtesy of Haz1602, although Roman Otter first put the idea out there, Thundering Sundin. she couldn't be far from thundering. She's not a personality like Valdes, who, you know, she's very quiet. She gets on with her business. You know, she's very calm behind the wheel, and she just makes it look so easy and serene, as far away from thunder as you can get. So it's almost like a bit of an ironic nickname. Thundering Sunder. The most serene and calm thunder you're ever going to see. So that's going to be a nickname going forward. And Thundering Sundin is top of the championship for now, and looking forward to the races ahead. So join me next time as we head to Tondela to see what happens. Can Valdes pull it back? He's going to have a real good race next time, because this championship is slipping away very quickly. Until next time, I'll see you soon.